I should. Go to
Hello, welcome to Monday Morning Matters live broadcast show brought to you by Magnicraft Consulting team, anchored by Niyi Dunmade, a certified church consultant with the Society for Church Consulting in the U.S. Here, each Monday of every week, we address important, relevant, and actionable topics of interest that will help you and your church grow healthier. And now, meet your host, Niyi Dunmade.
Welcome everyone to this live broadcast show, and thank you for hooking up with Monday Morning Matters. We are so glad you're part of this broadcast. I am Niyi Dunmade, a certified church consultant with the Society for Church Consulting, and I'm the lead consultant and founder of and CEO of Magnicraft Consulting. All right, with me is my darling wife, Mrs. Ruth Dunmade. She's a family clinician and a mind coach. I thought about just bringing her on to just deal with this issue because pastors are human beings. No matter how superhuman they are still human beings. And we need to make sure their mental state is intact because you don't know what pastors are going through. You know, being a pastor is actually a serious work today.
Serious work.
You know, sometimes the higher you go in leadership, the lonelier it becomes. And sometimes loneliness is some of the symptoms of these mental illnesses that we face today. So today we're going to focus more on overcoming fatigue for the next 3 weeks, okay? Fatigue, overcoming fatigue, stress, and burnout. But today we're going to talk more on stress. I don't think there's a human being on the face of the earth that has not undergone stress. What do you say?
I'm not sure there is any human on earth that has not gone through stress one time or the other.
So everybody has actually gone through some form of
And
stress.
still going
and
through.
As long as you are alive, you're going to go through some stress. Because life is all about tension, and how you're able to manage that tension really matters so much.
Important.
There are so many things you're juggling up together, and if you don't understand that the tension it creates can actually swallow up your life's purpose, then you have to be careful about stress. So what's the definition of stress? Let's start from there. Definition of stress is the reactions people have to exercise, to excessive pressure. The reaction people have to excessive pressure or other types of demand placed on them. It arises when they worry that they cannot cope. I want to say quickly here before my wife just makes some comment on that. The demands of ministry today has increased tremendously. Those days, pastors are just solely spiritual leaders, but now pastors have expanded their leadership. Some of them are married counselors, some of them are even medical doctors, some are they are, because the truth about it is that the sheep runs to the pastor for every problem.
Everything.
And because they come to you with every problem, you feel that you have the solution to every problem. I think that's the beginning of some stress of some pastors. What do you say to that, please?
Okay, you see, good morning, everyone. It's good to be here again this morning. And it's also a pleasure to be here with my husband to talk about stress, burnout, and fatigue. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm not taking it for granted. Thank you, CEO Magnicraft. Thank you. So, okay. You asked the question that some pastors, because of the burden of the ministry, and the demand of the ministry, a lot of demand are on them from people to be medical doctors, to be therapists, to be providers, to be business coaches. At the end of the day, a lot of pastors are overwhelmed. So many burdens are upon them. Before you know, the body begins to wear and tear. Unconsciously, unknowingly. This stress, and you were defining stress as a reaction people have to excessive pressure. So you can imagine you having family pressure, your personal pressure. You're having your own immediate and extended family pressure. You are having the pressure from the church. You are having the pressure from the congregation. You're having the pressure from leadership in your congregation. Yes, you're having several pressures. And it is expected that you must deliver on all ends. Because there is already an expectation from people, expectation from the members, expectation from your wife, your children, expectation from so many expectations from the pastors. So before some of them get to know about these expectations, they are already torn down apart with several pressures and pain. So I think sometimes these pressures could be very, very crazy. So
what do you advise for them? Well, for me, I want to believe that the pastors of those days make less decision than the pastors of today. So there's so much decisions to make as a pastor. There's so much changes right now going on. Unlike before, if you want to change a culture, it takes like 10, 15 years. Right now, to change certain things, 3 months, 6 months, some things have changed. So, and there's a demand of change that a pastor needs to cope to make better decisions. And what do you advise on slowing down? Because life is not a sprint. It's a marathon. So what advice do you want to give on that?
Okay, before I go to that advice, I would want to just tell us something this morning. You see, anything that we want to talk about today is not new under the face of the earth, especially as we'll be referring to the scripture. I know we pastors, we are Bible students. At least First Kings chapter 19, 1 to 18. If you have time, just go through it. And today I want to be laying a little emphasis on a prophet of God. A prophet that God used. A prophet that heard God clearly. He had close relationship with God. God used him so powerfully. He witnessed God's greatness during his days. I'm sure someone is beginning to guess who this prophet is. This same prophet helped the widow that her son died.
A mighty man of God.
Mighty
Man of God. He was doing wondrous things.
Yes. This same man, God used him to help the widow that lost the son.
Like you are creating a quiz right now.
Yeah.
The man of God is...
So I'm sure if a Bible scholar, you'd already know who this man of God was.
Yeah.
And that man of God was Prophet Elijah. There were things God wrought through the hands of this prophet. This prophet was a prophet that was known in his generation, was known in his immediate community.
Some kings feared him.
The Bible says some kings feared him.
Yeah.
But something happened to these prophets. And what happened to the prophet? One day, I think it was after he finished with the prophet of Baal, that fire came and consumed
them all.
That was a practical example of how God used this man.
So with even God backing him up, there was still fear in this man of God.
Yes.
Wow.
So why am I giving us? I'm referring us to this prophet. Anybody can go through stress. Be you a small man of God or a big man of God. Be you a man or a woman. Whether you're a man of God, you're not a man of God, you can go through stress. So he got this report that Queen Jezebel was pursuing him. That King Jezebel said, I will kill you. She threatened him. It was a threat. It has not materialized. But he was so afraid, to the extent that he felt lonely. To the extent he became so anxious. He became depressed. To the extent he lost hope. He felt totally alone, overwhelmed, and he wanted to quit due to that confrontation. And
he wanted to quit. I mean, like commit suicide.
Yes, he wanted to die. He said, God, kill me. Take my life. I'm alone.
Oh my God.
So, and at the end of the day, God being the God he has always been and he will always be to us, he sent comforting whispers to him. And those whispers strengthened him for the journey ahead. So, now, we are defined stress as the reaction we have to excessive pressure. Stress is also the wear and tear of our mind, our body, especially when we feel we cannot cope with life situation, with expectation of ministry, with demands from family. Before you know it, we start getting ourselves stressed up. There are certain feelings. If you're stressed, let me give you certain feelings, certain things you start seeing or like feeling, experiencing that you are stressed. You start worrying. Worrying for things that should come, things that will not come, things that are coming, and things that may never come. Before you know it, you're already tensed. So these are worry, tension. Sometimes you are tired, and that leads to another level of fatigue. Your mood is always swinging here and there. You aren't happy, you aren't okay, you're even frightened, depressed, anxious, and even angered. Those are certain symptoms of stress. So, and I want to explain to us that there are some stress that are internal, and there are some stress that are external.
But I think those internal ones are more dangerous, don't?
You see, all stress is stress.
Which one do you prefer, imploding or exploding?
Oh no, I don't prefer any of them.
Okay, so they are all bad.
No, now they may not all be bad, because I will go to some parts that there are certain stress that are positive, because we have positive and negative stress.
Okay.
Do you understand? So these external stress and internal stress. So I want to talk about external stress. Some external stress comes as a result of our physical environment, probably because of noise, bright lights, heat, confined spaces. It can lead to stress. Another thing that can lead to stress is social things. This I'm talking about external stress right now. Our social environment. Some people around us are rude in our churches. Some persons around us are bullies, aggressive. In fact, they are not pleasant people based on their attitude, their character. In our organization as a church, the rules, regulation, deadlines we have to meet. Those are external stress that could help.
Yeah, deadlines can
deadlines.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to do this building project. And this building project, you are the one that sets this deadline. And you say in the next 7 months.
So self-inflicted
pressure. You set this deadline that our church will be ready in the next 7 months. At the end of the day, you're already pressured because you have 7 months. Certain things have not been done. Certain things have not been crossed, and you're pressurized. And because of that, you now start making hasty decisions. And to that extent, you may end up destroying what you wanted to build.
On making some wrong decisions.
Major life events can cause some external stress, like birth. The birth of somebody in the congregation. A member gave birth. It could be stressful, especially when it was a stressful birth. No money to give birth, hospital bill, complication. It could be stressful. These are things that normally we should expect in our congregation. As the congregation is growing, so we be married, so we give birth. So death causes stress to us as pastors. A death of a member, of a loved one, of your leadership, somebody in your leadership that you cherish so much. That death can cause stress, and you see, these are things that are inevitable. Promotion, marital status. Do you know that marital status changing from single to married can cause stress for some pastors?
You are right, because what causes tension is growth.
Yes.
When you are moving from one age to another, you hit 40, you hit 50, you hit 60. They come with some form of pressure, some form of stress. And then, when there is growth, there is change, there is transitioning from one phase to another. Even from a poor man to become a rich man, it comes with its own stress. From a rich man to a poor man, it comes with stress.
A congregation of 100 to a congregation of 350 comes with its own stress.
Yes, I agree with you.
So, you see, these are external stress. So, some of these stress, as we go along the path, we'll be talking about the positive side of it. So, now, deadlines. Another thing again, hassles are external stress. Misplaced. Do you know that, for example, a pastor needs to be in church and his church probably is some 45 minutes distance. In the space of few minutes that you're already running late, you just misplace your key. Your
car key, and that creates some tension.
And where you're coming from, probably your Bolt, your Uber may not be functioning well. That little thing can cause so much stress that even the sermon you have prepared for weeks, for days, for months can just, because you couldn't see your car key. Do you understand? So such or you are coming to church and you're already running late, your car just breaks down. That alone is stress. So I want to talk about internal stress. Another internal stress we have, their lifestyles. Some of us, we have overloaded schedule. Overloaded schedule. You want to minister in China. You want to minister in London. You want to minister in Turkey. You want to minister in Oklahoma.
Because you want to make some bills that will...
Either for bill's sake or just because for influence or to make ends meet. At the end of the day, your schedule is so overloaded. That is an internal stress.
You are making a fantastic point. So your schedule should keep time for some rest.
Yes, very important.
You to, rejuvenate, right?
Yes, very important. Lifestyle. You now don't know how to sleep, or you don't sleep adequately.
Yeah, we're going to come down to that, the benefit of resting, because I know there's a reason why God made night and day. And He said we should walk in the day and then rest in the night.
Yeah,
so we're going to come to that on. But go on.
Okay, so you see, internal stress, like Sleeplessness. Some of us, some of our leaders, our pastors find it difficult to sleep because of the burden of ministry, because of the target they have set ahead of them. Another thing is negative self-talk. It's an internal stress. Negative self-talk.
Like I would say that some pastors who are used to the crowd,
yes,
you know, before the lockdown, now the attendance have declined so badly, so a lot of egos are bruised.
Yeah,
you know, you are so concerned about the sheep.
Honestly,
they are not showing up in church.
Very frustrating.
They are not cooperating like they were doing before.
Yeah,
the volunteer commitment have dropped.
Very
a lot of things have changed. Financial commitments have dropped.
Everything.
So it has created a lot of stress.
Yes, negative self-talk can arise.
Yeah, from there.
From that process, you now start either criticizing yourself, criticizing your leadership, criticizing your system, over analyzing things that naturally you just know that this is just a process, because even your congregation are going through the same process of the pandemic. Some of them don't even know how to start. Some of them are confused. Why you are on the other end, because you feel you are the receiving end. You are analyzing their responses, their reaction so much that you become internally stressed. So mind traps can cause internal stress.
Explain that.
Let me explain that. Unrealistic expectations
from yourself.
Either from yourself or from people. You take things personally. You are rigid as a person, or as a pastor, as a leader of the congregation. You are very unreal. Your mind is trapped. When some people do certain things, probably when you started the ministry, they were all out there, they were available, they were, because demand from their own personal life had not increased. Before you know it, that period when you call for Bible study, you see brother A is there, you call for this, brother B is there. He or she has been constant. Unfortunately, their life started making some level of progress, and their own purpose, their own ministry has several level of demand too from them. Before you know, you are now thinking these people are backsliding. They are not of God. You start questioning, where is their first love? Some of them didn't lose God in the process. It is just because certain demand from their personal life has also
come. Let's wrap up on this note. What's the benefit of slowing down, sleeping, resting, retreating? Okay, because you know, when you are juggling like 4 things together, because human beings are like that. We have our family life, ministry life, career life, you know, all kinds of lanes in our lives, and we are trying to juggle all of them together. And I think the faster it is, I think the more tension we create. So how do we slow down, take some rest, take some retreat? Just like my phones, you know, when it's fully charged, it goes for a while. When it's depleted, I have to recharge it. Just like we too, we need to also find ways to recharge. Because there are some battles we have lost because we're not really recharged for that task that we have set up. So tell us the benefits of resting, the benefits of sleeping and retreating.
Okay, before we go to resting, sleeping, there are other things I think we can talk about. We have few weeks to handle this matter, but I want us to, as pastors, as leaders, please, let's learn to plan our schedules. Plan your schedule very well, your taxes, your activities, because when you do that, it makes you feel so energized. Plan them deliberately.
Another thing, you should plan them with a mind that is a human being that will be running.
Yes, plan them, because sometimes
we're planning as if
it's rigid. When something wants to interrupt it, we are not flexible.
To that.
So as much as we plan our schedule, we should be able to learn how to be a little bit flexible with our schedule in our mind, in case certain things unexpectedly comes. Go at your pace. I will encourage every pastor listening to me, go at your pace. Why am I saying?
I like that word, go at your pace.
Yes, set small, realistic goals that you can achieve. You see, nobody should be your competition. What I was called to do is not the same thing you were called to do. What Prophet Elijah was called to do was not the same thing Prophet Elisha was called to do. What Jonah was called to do was not the same thing Peter was called to do. So I would encourage every leader, every pastor, go at your pace, set small realistic goals. Now, when we say set small realistic goals, we are not talking like people without faith. We are not talking like people that don't have a big God. We are not talking like people that don't believe in faith or the potency of faith. So please, I will encourage you, go at your pace. Your sleep schedule, very important. Try to wake up and go to bed at the same time.
In fact, I believe that there are some battles pastors will overcome if they sleep more.
Yes.
Rest more.
Yes. Do you know that when a person doesn't sleep for at least, you see, sometimes because of demands of ministry and demands of what we have set to achieve in life, we follow some persons that even don't have underlying health issues as our leaders or our mentors. There are some persons they have under some illness underneath that cannot achieve some things. Do you know that just not sleeping adequately could cause mental fatigue?
Yes.
You will be moving, but you're not making progress. You will be on motion. It's just like being on treadmill. You're not moving anywhere. You're at the same spot because you have decided not to sleep. God will be even speaking to you. You will not be hearing because your
mind is numb.
Is sleeping. So we should learn. We should be deliberate about our sleep. You see, any day you don't sleep well, there is something you should learn to do. Remember to have something like a nap. A nap. You see, this 30 minutes nap, 20 minutes nap is very important. I would love to go more and more to talk about this, but for now, I think I'm going to leave it.
There's so much to share, but I know somehow we are going to continue next week Monday on this same topic. But the thing is, life is demanding so much from us, and we have to make sure that we have what it takes to give what life is demanding from us. You cannot give what you don't have. You cannot give what you don't have. So I will admonish us to retreat to recharge, so that we can avoid quitting in life.
Retreat to recharge.
So that avoid quitting to avoid quitting in life. So next week Monday we're going to continue on this. You can send your questions. The mind coach is and the family clinician is here. She has access to the Facebook page. She's going to respond to. We have dealt with a lot of pastors who have mental issues of just starting on the platform, because the truth about it is that God is concerned about your body, your spirit, and your soul. He wants everything to be perfect. He wants everything to be blameless. And so your mind is very, very important, so that you don't lose your mind. This year is one of the years that, we entered on a very, very bad, people were not really highly motivated. And we need to find ways to get our mind back and get that motivation to run 2021 on a good way. So please feel free to share our page on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on
all social media.
Make sure you share this to a pastor. I'm sure one pastor that you know needs this message. So please share it to a pastor, share it to a leader, and that will help us. I think, let me just put up my page there. That's my Facebook page. Please, if you want to contact us with that line on the screen. We have any questions, please feel free to hook up with us. Any question we're going to answer, and the family clinician will give you a professional way to handle. Sometimes some of these things just is a solution with a change in lifestyle. Slow down, take things easy, don't panic, because sometimes panic will make you to take some wrong decisions.
Yeah.
So please, there are a lot of videos, past broadcasts we did on the page. Go there, you're going to see quite a lot of good content, and I'm sure you'll be glad you hit the like page on the Facebook page. Thank you for allowing us to come to your place. Can you say thank you to the audience?
Thank you so much for connecting with us, for stopping by to just listen to what we have to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much for always hooking up and to listen. I'm amazed at where people are listening to Monday morning from. So thank you. We are grateful.
Merci
My name is Niyi Dunmade. I'm a certified church consultant with Society for Church Consulting, and today I've been host to my wife, Mrs. Ruth Dunmade. Thank you so much. God bless you. We'll see you next Monday.
Bye.